Ancient Tevinter. Those decrying our ambitions to reclaim our lands decry history. What was not once under control of the watchful eye of the Archons, the wisdom of the true divine, or the justice of the Magisterium. Idle Orlais, graceless Ferelden, even vain Antiva were ours in ages past. Tevinter's imprint is present in every corner of their degenerate cultures, whether it be music, poetry, architecture, mathematics, or any art that stirs the human spirit. Were our empire to stretch its arms again, its tide of southern decadence would this tide of southern decadence would at last be stoppered and corrected by the superior minds of the Imperium. By Magister Leviculix Plureni, that's a dumb name, lecture to a gathering of his peers, 786 blessed. As a general rule, they do a good job at making, as a Western player, they do a good job at making Ferelden the relatable nation, and Orlais and Tevinter both these weird alien locations. Sorry for that. I don't know. I can't get rid of this cough. It's bothering me. Like I haven't had symptoms for like a week now of being relatively sick, but still, just to have things getting cleared out, I guess. Colds are the worst. I usually don't get them, so I take some dumb amount of pride in that, even though it's like, aha, I sure evaded that invisible force. Well, let's go down there. Let's try to see if I can open that door from the backside. But yeah, I totally got a cold this year, which was a huge bummer. But hey, beats a flu for sure. But anything that affects your vocals in general, not a great thing to have when you're running a Let's Play channel, or in my case, 2 Let's Play channels that both put out daily videos. Like this week in particular, because I started finishing Mind Path of Thalamus, but I also want to start Darkest Dungeon because it's brand new and I didn't want to be too far behind on that series. I have 4 episodes per day on this channel, but then on Sad Games we have Sonic Boom going on. So yeah, if you guys haven't heard about that, we're playing Sonic Boom, the terrible Sonic game, on that channel and having a great time with how bad it is. And our Xbox Live Indie Games, which is also the same thing of like, let's enjoy how bad this thing is. That guy's clipping through the wall. That poor man. That poor man. I'm gonna set him on fire. Yay! You're on fire. You get a fire. You get a fire. Everyone gets it. He's gonna throw a rock at me. No! Okay, I'm fine. How's the oh, right. I need to cast barrier on the party down there. Where are they? Can't really see very well from here. Oh no! Oh no, I can't really aim very well down there. Barrier? Nope, it only affected me. Awkward. Connected to the Wi-Fi. I thought we already didn't have Wi-Fi. Whoopsie. Well, the good news is my barrier didn't cost any mana, so that's fine. I just used a blade on nothing. Man, my ability to play as this character is faded. Back off! Did that not work? Oh shit. Well, you can't get me. I have a slow-mo bubble. And everything's on fire in my slow-mo bubble. You don't want to be in my slow-mo bubble. I'm using blades, and we're doing okay. Yeah, I have my barrier up, so everything's fine. And more fire. More fire. Did I hit them with that? Yeah, I hit them both. Coolio. Oh, Cassandra's in trouble. Not Cassandra. What am I? Wow, more fire. Would you take some more fire with your fire? I really should be charging up for my, what the fuck? This rock's just spinning here. I just realized it hasn't gone anywhere yet. Oh, did it just fall to the floor? Cassandra, you're safe. Oh. Where's Cassandra? She's right here. How did she not get affected by my... Maybe she did get affected by my barrier. Maybe I casted barrier on her and it got her. But the impact was so strong of the giant that it actually instantly got wiped out. So I basically just saved her life, probably. I have to keep in mind that Cassandra does not have the ability that Blackwall and Vasti have, where they're basically protected from dying, which is a handy thing for... certainly a handy thing for your characters. It'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to have a party that's all one character and try to figure out if there's like a master class in this game that is just so self-sufficient that they could be everything. I want to say, I'm trying to think. I think I've heard people say that they have playthroughs of, I have to bubble everybody. Gotta keep track of that stuff. Oh, I keep blading nothing. That's not how this character works. Don't fight back. You're in slow-mo mode now. Enjoy that. Oh wait, that doesn't work because he's a massive character. I forgot giant characters can't be slowed like that. I think in Legend of Grimrock, what people did is they would bring 4 Minotaurs, and all 4 Minotaurs were something ridiculous. Like, I think there might have been 4 throwing Minotaurs, and like their throws were so comically strong as strength characters that they just had a whole party of people that just threw stuff at the enemy. Is what I think I've heard people do. There's probably other cool things too. I'll just grab everything. I think we have. Do we have enough inventory space? We're doing good. 72 out of 90. Not ideal. It's filling up fast because all these giants give us so much loot, but there's a camp nearby, so it's fine. And I think we'll be done with this zone pretty quick. There we go. Ta-da! Yeah, I kind of figured. When I got to this door and it said it's opened by some mechanism, and there clearly was not an operation nearby, I figured the mechanism was that it I figured that it just opens from the other side. And looks like that's true. What? I was literally just here. Where'd you come from? And now you're in slow-mo mode. Enjoy that. Lols. I can just beat them down at this point, right? Yeah. Hey, buddy. Isn't it great not being able to move? I know. It's hilarious. What if I do it again, huh? What if I do it again? What are you gonna do about that? Haha! Slow-mo mode again. I didn't preserve enough mana, so I couldn't. I was getting a kick out of quickly getting enough cooldown to cast slow again, but then I ended up using too much mana in the process, so I couldn't cast it immediately to make it funny. I thought that I might have. I was hoping that I'd be able to just chain 2 back-to-back slows, because it'd be kind of funny not letting them move. Just death root. I'm not gonna roll all the way up there for the death root. In the area, we still have. There's a rift straight ahead. Make that our next target, I think. And then back here, there's the Memories of the Grey, Trouble with Darkspawn. Oh, track down service. Okay, I still have to go back up there and seal the hole, but I'll do that in a minute. We'll probably jump cut to the hole, and I'll have a comprehensive party because it might be behind that locked door. Although that'd be a silly place for a hole, because it would be a locked door. So how are they getting out? But I guess maybe the hole's in a really obvious sight, and I somehow just walked past it. Or, come to think of it, near the beginning of that dungeon, there was a door. Yeah, there was a very clear door I could have gone in that I failed to go through because everyone attacked me. So I could have, I went right when I could have gone left, and so maybe if I go left, I'll find it. Either way, I'm sure we'll just jump cut to a point where I'm like, oh, here's a new part of that dungeon that we haven't seen already. For now, we still have to clear this place out, so I'm getting way ahead of myself on that dialogue. Usually that's not the problem. Usually I'm way behind myself talking about something that I started bringing up 12 hours ago. Hey, you guys want to hear about Necroscope? Just more talk of Necroscope. That's great, right? God, this game literally can go on forever. And I have no regret for that, but part of me definitely is like, oh man, I'm ready to move on. Part of me is ready to move on to other stuff just for the sake of, just covering things. There's definitely a moment where I'm like, Witcher is coming out, Dying Light is out. This year we're getting a remake of Dark Souls 2, with new enemy placement, so I'm definitely playing that, and Bloodborne. And I'm just like, all right, Dragon Age, you can hang out here for now, like almost like someone's like bunking on your couch. But I'd really like you to be like out of the house by the time those other games show up, just in case, because I don't know if I can handle that many massive RPGs in parallel. But for those of you that haven't heard about this, they're re-releasing Dark Souls 2. I know, of course, a lot of people are mad at this because everyone's mad at everything on the internet, really. But and it's a little scummy for the PC version of the game, but it's totally fine for console, just because that's just a thing that's accepted on console. Is that, oh yeah, you re-release some last-gen games, but in 1080 60, and some new features maybe, and you repackage it because, yeah, a lot of games came out in the last year of those dying consoles, and a fair number of people may have sold their old consoles and moved on to new consoles and just been ready and to move on. A little, maybe prematurely, but they may have missed things along the way because games are long and it's hard to keep track of everything. In my case, I've been actually rebuying games that I borrowed because I played Tomb Raider and I played Sleeping Dogs, for example, and The Last of Us, but I played other people's copies. So I'm more than happy to get PS4 versions of those games because I like them so much. And then I have a definitive version, and it's the one copy I own, which is cool. But in Dark Souls 2's case, they're making Scholar of the First Sin. It's going to be a free patch for the old versions of the game, but only part of it. The main thing being that they're adding a new NPC with its own story, and they're adding augmented item descriptions and generally just augmenting the story and adding more to justify an extra playthrough, which is good for a free patch, and also some balancing changes, I believe. But in addition to that, if you get it on the next gen console, or current gen consoles now, Rifts and Echo Back is complete. Way to go, me. If you get the current gen versions for PS4 or Xbox One, one thing they've done to help justify the new playthrough, which I'm very excited about because it means my Let's Play will be different, they're changing enemy placement. So throughout my assumption is that throughout the game, enemies are going to be in different locations, like in the level layout, and they've also I've definitely heard confirmation because of the Vati Vidya video about it that they're apparently going to have different enemies in some regions too. So that'll be a new. It'll be like I imagine it'll be kind of like the I've never played it, but kind of like the Binding of Isaac community remix mod, where it's like, here's a familiar game we've all played to death. And so the community made a mod to make it different. I assume, like, that's in my head, that's what the Scholar of the First Sin feels like, is the idea that they took a game we've all played and are changing stuff about it. Oh, it's just a quarry. I was kind of hoping this cave would have stuff in it. Oh well. And that's neat. That's neat to me. I'm on board for. Like, I was going to play Dark Souls 2 over and over again regardless because I really enjoy the game. So the idea that I can buy a version of the game that's different is neato. That also means that just for personal use, maybe not even for Let's Plays, when I just feel the urge to play Dark Souls 2 over and over again, I can switch back and forth between Dark Souls on PS3 and Dark Souls on PS4 because they'll essentially have different campaigns. There it is, Leo of Lucian Bay. That's the Cassandra quest, I believe, where we're tracking down all these dudes. Hey guys, everyone look at me! Everyone look at me! Ow. Walking fortress before I die. I should have done that second. Everyone look at me! There we go. I just casted a bunch of scary abilities all at once, so everyone's just going to be fighting me really quick. It's fun. Whoa, Leo got really far away, but he's also very dead. I'm just going to focus on the guys that are in melee range right now. Rebel Spellbinder. Now you're going to be a Rebel Deadbinder? That didn't even make sense. I'm not a clever person. But yeah, I'm sure that people will be looking forward to me playing Dark Souls again, because there's always demand for that. So there's the light at the end of the tunnel. If you're one of those people that has been waiting for me to play Dark Souls all the time, and you're dissatisfied, and I understand why you would be, that my co-op series doesn't have frequent enough episodes, although I can't control that because I have to coordinate with other people for that, and that's difficult. And my Dark Souls 2 New Game Plus, I just through my own mistakes keeps getting put on the back burner because I'm bad at coordinating all these games I'm playing. That's a mistake, and I'm sad about that, but it happens. When Scholar of the First Sin comes out, though, that's a new release, and I'll treat it like a new release, so you'll be getting daily videos of that when it comes out. And it comes out only a month after Bloodborne, so you might actually... Those of you who have who subscribed originally for all my Dark Souls content and are sad that you're not getting enough, I realize this is a bad place to talk about this.
It's over. Thank you for bringing us here.
I'm realizing right now, and I apologize for this if it bothers anyone, that I'm kind of doing a channel update video in the middle of this Let's Play. Whoops. But and I realize that I suppose this is a bad place to talk about this because people who subscribe for Dark Souls. Oh, Cassandra approves. Cassandra greatly approves. I assume the greatly is because that was the last one we had to track down. Definitely want to talk to her in town to discuss the fact that we've progressed here. But anyway, I realized that people who subscribe for Dark Souls might not even be watching my Dragon Age series in the first place. I have had a few comments from people just straight up saying like, "Oh, there's 2 more Cassandra comments down." No, we do have to track down 2 more Cassandra people, so it's not over yet. I know. Multiple people have flat out told me that people that subscribe for Dragon Age stuff, they're like, I mean for Dark Souls stuff, they're like, yeah, Dragon Age. They flat out said that they think Dragon Age is a bad game, and they don't. So like, I haven't gotten comments from them on these episodes, so they're probably not even watching. But if you are watching this place and watching this and like my Dark Souls stuff, there is a light at the end of the tunnel because in the very, very soon in the upcoming months, I think. When those games come out, like April. Well, I think one of them comes out in April, something like that. Well, I may be playing 2 Dark Souls type games in parallel, Dark Souls 2 and Bloodborne, and so that'll be an experience. We have another landmark here. This one's on the inside instead of the outside. Gate of Toth. This gate is carved with symbols of Toth, the old gate of fire. Okay. I mean, I could have seen its symbols from the outside. Yeah, why couldn't I claim that from the outside instead of the inside? I don't know, I'm only questioning it because the other gate had a landmark too, but but you could claim it from the outside instead of the inside. So over here we have shards on the approach. There's only 3. Screw it. I'll grab these shards real quick. The shards, I'm doing it because the shards are on my way towards the next objective in this region anyway. But yeah, basically if there's a Western style RPG coming out, especially big AAA ones, not because I ignore indie, but because sometimes indie often appeals to such specific demographics that sometimes I'm not in that demographic. Like when Supergiant Games comes out with a game, the way they put out like Bastion and Transistor, I'm immediately on board for playing it. But some other companies make types of Western RPGs that are a little too far outside of what I'd be interested in. Meanwhile, the AAA ones just have a higher chance of being exactly what I'm looking for, because I'm totally on board for Bloodborne and Dark Souls 2 Remake. And is that an exit for this region? Wait. No. This takes you to the world map? You can't do that to me. I reject this idea. No, game. I get it could be for a convenience thing, although that seems pointless because everyone can just go to the map at any point anyway, but if there's an exit to the outside world, that implies that you could have walked in from the outside world, which means I didn't have to open either of these gates because I could have just walked in right here. This, just from a storytelling perspective or like a logic perspective, this needs to be a completely locked off area with no easy access in, because otherwise you nullify the purpose, the in-world purpose for those gates. From a gameplay mechanic, it's like, yeah, you can't go in there because you only have one way of spawning in. There's an origin point and there's camps. Like, yeah, I get that much, but from a like a world building perspective of making the game make logical sense, it kind of breaks when you just when you offer that kind of option, because it has implications that don't work in this context, unfortunately. Oh well, though. It's obviously not a real problem that I'm going to like genuinely gripe about, like, no, Dragon Age is broken for me. It's just one of those little things of like, oh, that shouldn't be there. I've been watching Plague of Gripes play Dark Souls, and that's actually been my overall feeling of like, because like he likes Dark Souls, but there's just, when you take Dark Souls seriously and actually sit there and question everything, which is what people do too much, it kind of falls apart, which is interesting, because it's been interesting watching someone do that and question stuff constantly in that game, because people take Dark Souls 2 seriously, and I get that a lot of my comments, like, people complain when I don't understand the lore ramifications of the fact that the sword looks like another sword from another part of another game, and like...
Venatori will not easily recover now. It should make our own hold on the region stronger.
Wow, I think I launched that Venatori downstairs and he died from fall damage, because I think enemies take pretty severe fall damage in this game. That was actually kind of neat. And there's something nearby. Where is it? But people take Dark Souls super seriously, and but then when people indulge that and oh, it's downstairs somewhere, okay. But if you indulge them and take it even more seriously than them, then everything completely falls apart logically, because there's a lot of stuff about just basic, like, ooh, Blizzard's Path. Oh, man. On kill, target explodes. There's some cool stuff going on in that weapon that would have been cool if I got this when it was relevant, but now it's not, unfortunately. Elegantly written letter. Magister Natharius. Viranthium Office of the Praetor. Dear Madam, I have been informed that you are looking for an experienced administrator to organize your lead mining enterprises in the Four Kingdoms. I humbly present myself as a candidate for the vacancy. I have expensive experience... That's like, I have expensive experience in geology, because it's expensive to pay for tuition. I have extensive experience as the overseer of multiple archaeological digs in the Western Approach, and have successfully managed several mercenary army ventures simultaneously. At present, I am seeking new employment opportunities in less arid climes, and as far as possible from the Inquisition. Please see my attached resume for further credentials. Yours, Crassius Service. So Service was actually writing a letter to straight up abandon this place altogether because they knew that I was coming. That's amusing in its own way, too. Claim. It's mine, bitch. The last step. A fragment of inscription remains on the stones. It reads, last step of civilization before the abyss. But yeah, I'd recommend looking into Plague of Gripes' Dark Souls playthrough that he's doing right now. Very different from how I do it, because I'm very in the moment and just having an experience, and I'm focused on the gameplay and reacting to things and stuff, whereas he's very detached. Like, the whole time he's playing he's not... It sounds like post-commentary, like he recorded it first and now is talking over it afterwards, is what it seems like. Yes, Vivian. Congratulations. But it's interesting because when you sit there and question everything, there's a lot of elements of the game that kind of fall apart because they just don't conceptually make sense at the moment. And that doesn't make the game worse, it just means...
It still feels good to be helping the Grey Wardens, even after everything.
So in Priest du Leon, that's the one I was thinking of as being the last zone that's supposed to be pretty tough, and that's where I have to go to finish Cassandra and Blackwall's quest. Those quests are game long. When I first got them, I thought they were going to be quick side quests, but you have to go everywhere in the game to do them, basically. Like, none of this diminishes the quality of Dark Souls, but it's packed with things that... The game still is packed with things that just ultimately don't make sense when you question them too much. Track down Service in the Western Approach. Huh. Just track them down in general? I assume that the specific location of this mark doesn't necessarily matter then? He's probably going to be somewhere inside the building if I figure out how to get inside. Where's the entrance? Oh wait, am I already inside the building I was looking at earlier? I might already be inside, and this is just me on top. Oh yeah, there's the Astrarium up there. Huh. Probably need to figure out how to get inside of that building then. Okay. Anyway, I've juggled a few topics and have now lost track of some of the things I was trying to say, but that's fine. No one needs to hear me talk about Dark Souls too much anyway. Just know, all those Western RPGs coming out, Witcher, Bloodborne, Dark Souls, Deep Down, if that ever comes out, or if it's cancelled, I can't tell anymore. They haven't talked about it forever. I'm playing them, and we're gonna have a great time, hopefully. Or you'll hate me for one reason or another. Half the internet does. No, they don't. Most of the internet doesn't know I exist, so that's not physically possible. What am I gonna find down here? Alright. Another shard and 2 more chests. Just random garbage. And more random garbage. I'm about to fill my inventory with all the random garbage. Oh no. Let's try to get over to the Astrarium next. I think that's about all that's left to do here. Hopefully as I approach the Astrarium location, I'll find out where Service is. What happens if I go... Can I go over this wall? Oh, I can. Oh wait, this is where I walked in the first place. It's just the rear approach. There's got to be a way to get up to the Astrarium, so let's see if I can go up the side of this wall. I have to be careful not to go too far because it'll try to warp me out of the zone altogether. Because down there is the end of the world. Yeah, I can kind of come down here. Is this the secret path to the Astrarium? Hopefully it's where we'll find Service. Otherwise, if I don't find Service, I might have to jump cut until we get progress here, because I'm missing something, probably. Please jump through. There we go. Astrarium accomplished. Was I not supposed to do this? There's a whole cave down there that suggests I wasn't supposed to do this, and I was supposed to take that path instead. Oh well, I'll take it. Mystical Ruin, tell me where the cave is. Oh yeah, that'll be the last thing I have to do before I leave this area, is I'm gonna have to actually complete the cave. Let's start over real quick. I want to do the big triangle first because I feel like that might help. And then you jump all the way across down here. And this is where things get interesting. So that's a one-way direction. So ideally... Let's see. Oh no, have I trapped myself? I may have trapped... Oh wait, no, I'm good. I think if I just do this crazy vortex-shaped thing, I may be good. Or I'm doomed. I may be doomed now. Yep. I have to go down here, and I have to go here, but I also have to fill in this segment. Oh no, I have made a poopy. Oh no, I was so close too. All I had to do was go from here to here, and then I could have done the triangle. Let's try to retrace my steps, but just undo that last mistake I made. I think we'll be fine. I think everything will be okie dokies. Unless I'm missing something else vital. Am I missing something else vital too? Wait. Did I just make a mistake again? What have I done? What have I done? Oh wait, no, this works. No, it doesn't. Shit. Let's try this again. I may have gone too fast that time and lost track of where I was going. This one's a little tough just because it has overlapping lines, which this might be the first time we have overlapping lines in this fashion. If I save that horizontal line for last, I can do that. Maybe? Yeah. Cut around, and cut across, and do the horizontal line last. Success. It is a man playing a test tube instrument. It's probably a guitar, a lute, I assume. Constellations Satinalis. Referred to as either Satina, after the moon, or Saturnalia, after the holiday. In common parlance, the constellation Satinalis has always been depicted by the celebrant, a seated man playing a lyre, which is another stringed guitar type instrument, I assume. It should be noted that in ancient Tevinter, the constellation was known as Mortimalis, and was represented by a warrior holding aloft a head, usually of an elf. The movement to officially rename it so called in the Divine Age as after 800 years, the original is all but forgotten. The study of Thedosian astronomy by Sister Oren Petrarchus. There we go. That's all 3 Astrariums found in the area, I believe, which means after I finish everything in this little zone and go back in and seal that hole and stuff, I'm going to have a cave with cool loot to find in it. And hopefully it'll be an upgrade, because when I found other Astrarium caves, they were upgrades, but unfortunately Western Approach might be a little low for me now, so it might not be a cool upgrade, but hey, we have 3 shards and a cave to find, so definite progression for overarching concepts too. Let's go ahead and check out what's down here, because maybe I'll find...
The Venatori will not easily recover now. It should make our own hold on the region stronger.
Cassandra, didn't you already say that, maybe? I feel like you already said that one. There's a question mark up there on the map. We'll have to take a look at that. Maybe it'll be a vital clue about how I find, Service, the coward / douche. Oh! I need to bring a torch here. Oh, acquired schematic, Frost Rune. Oh, shit. I forgot. Vivian is still carrying the rune. Okay. I didn't realize she was still holding it. Because, yeah, the icon for finding service is, like, right here. And there's nothing I can interact with. There's no chime, is there? No, the only chime is for that ladder off in the distance. So, yeah, there's nothing. All I had to do is go in there. I did some awkward platforming instead. I'm going to have to investigate something else to find him. Maybe he'll be at this question mark. That's the main lead I can think of right now. Don't get hurt by fall damage, maybe? I'm doing okay. I'll try locking onto that guy real quick. Nope, Venatori Spellbinder. His name's not Service. It's Gladiator. None of these people matter. So I'm just going to avoid conflict for now. Feel like that's just a smarter move to save some time. What's this resource over here? Lazurite. Now it's Lazure Mine. That wasn't even funny or clever. And it didn't even work as the thing it was supposed to be in the first place. So what I'm wondering is, what is this weird, mysterious, unmarked thing? Because it's like the one thing left in the area. If I don't find it here, I don't know how I'm going to find service. I might have to come back. It's weird because he had relocation papers, so part of the thing is like, why doesn't the game just assume he's gone if I can't find him? There's a question mark right here. It's an X. Oh, it's just a location. Well, I think I'm going to go check out... I think I'm going to go back inside and check out where I left off and see if there's anything I can do to seal the hole. And, I don't know, maybe when I reload this zone, Service will just be around. Maybe he isn't spawned properly. Like, I remember I went to that... Did that just disappear off in the distance? When I went to the Venatori... Yeah, it was at that tower. Did that disappear? I don't know. I thought I saw something disappear. Oh, that tower's gone. Is it? Yeah, the tower yeah, that tower spawns in and out of existence when I walk around. Whoopsie, it unloads. There's a time I went to try to explore that mercenary fortress and it vanished that one time. There was no enemies in it, so I couldn't do the quest. So maybe Maybe I have to do something specific to make service spawn again, or maybe it's glitched because I progressed too much. Who knows? I'll definitely show you guys if I figure it out. Otherwise, I guess we'll just have to move on. Alright, first of all, I'm back here with Sarah. So now I can open this door that I couldn't open before because I realized the exact reason why you don't want to have an old mage party. Still, I think an old mage party would actually be pretty valid in general, just because they're such a versatile class in general. But they make you not want to have all mages because... Ooh! Superb crit damage bonus to 20%. I already have a crit bonus ring though. How much is that one? Is she wearing it first of all? Yeah, she's already have. Oh, do they stack? Do these stack? Although long shot's a pretty good ability, so having 30% bonus on the damage bonus on that's good too. But oh yeah, I'll have to think about who to put that on. I'll have to research if they stack or not, because having 40% crit bonus would be nice. Or even plus 20% and then plus 20%. Even from a multiplicative standpoint, that's still a really good bonus, even if it's not a flat 40. Oh no, my inventory is full. How will I ever take this not particularly good staff? Oh well, I'll just leave this ornate longbow, because who cares? What's it say? Ancient list of prisoners. This crumbling parchment predates the Second Blight. Oh Jesus, it's very ancient then. Emil Valen, the Thievery. Iuna Talvis, inciting dissidents to be kept in isolation. Alright, so the person they're talking... I totally called it. It's a political prisoner. They're like, well, we'll see how many allies they have with a, without her winning smile. Because, like, yeah, she's someone who's dangerous to the current authority figure with her influence. But also, hard to care about what's going on here to some extent, just because what we now know is that this is so old that it's older than the Second Blight. When, Dragon Age Origins was the 5th Blight, I want to say? I'm pretty sure. So this is incredibly long ago. This is ancient history. It's like feeling bad about something that happened in Cleopatra's time or something. Gallus. Property of House Largus. Conspiring to commit treason, given over for further interrogation. Ciscara Atreus. Concealing a fugitive with full knowledge of his crimes. Quentin Naver. Public indecency. Sentencing of all criminals to commence 3 days hence upon the return of the Praetor. But did the Praetor ever return? Probably. There's no reason to think that this place fell apart or anything. But who knows? I'm realizing I should look into upgrades for how my potions work and stuff like that, because I don't think I've actually... I'm realizing when I pick these things up, especially when half the time it picks up extra things. What? A Codex update for Sarah. That's interesting. But I should look into my upgrades because it's been a while, and I probably qualify for all sorts of upgrades, and I've just kind of forgotten to check for a while. So it looks like we keep adding more and more detail to the Sarah log with all these different things. So there's the addendum on dragons, the addendum on Red Jenny, and the public caches and stuff like that. I assume there's Denerim. I think I've read most of these before. I think the new one is specifically Sarah's hatred of Darkspawn. So, addendum on Sarah's hatred of Darkspawn. Having read the reports, I might have expected that someone with ties to Ferelden, and specifically Denerim, would harbor a violent dislike of Darkspawn. Whatever claim she has to family, all were threatened during the Blight. They don't look right. Not living. That's all that she has to say to it. I do get a kick of the fact that we have Codex entries on Sarah, and Sarah herself is doodling and writing and commenting on the Codex itself. It's a very good piece of personality here. So, it looks like oh, there we go. I think that's it right there. So yeah, like, I just walked right past, unfortunately. I somehow walked right past the hole I was supposed to fill. That's me being a dummy, I guess. So, let's see if I can do a long shot really quick. Don't trigger the fight yet. Guys, back off a second. I can have some fun here with a double long shot, potentially. Alright. Fuck you! Oh, I didn't get a second one off. I think it's because he died. I think my target died, so it didn't let me proceed. Haha, slow-mo mode. What are you gonna do about it? I'm not actually that effective in combat, apparently, so the slow mode's not a huge advantage. Oh! Well, long shot came back. Yeah, I don't think I want to... I don't know, 20% damage bonus on crits could be handy, but it might be best given to someone else, because me having a 30% damage bonus on long shot's really handy. That's a strong ability, and I can use it pretty frequently. So I think I want to keep that around. Oh, there we go. I had an all-mage party last time, and I didn't use the one-mage spot to close the hole.
Keep the Darkspawn at bay. The tunnel was open from the outside. Someone was digging here.
I've been talking long enough that the recording's long enough at this point that there's multiple episodes, and that mistake would have happened an episode ago, I think. So, sorry. There we go. Thankfully, I can. Yeah, these things aren't worth picking up. They're just more vendor trash anyway. Thankfully, schematics don't take up space, so I can just pick that up. And once you have a stack of a resource, actually, I think resources in general don't take up space. One of the annoying things about this game a little bit is that they don't really. It's not always clear what takes up space. Apparently resources and schematics don't take up space. Schematics in particular, that makes sense. But equipment takes up space, which is common sense, and apparently upgrades take up space, which is weird. So like those things that are like +6 willpower or whatever the hell, like all of those things that are augments to your equipment, they all take up space too, and that's kind of a tad okay, oh, can I do anything in here? No? Okay. That's a little bit frustrating because it's like I kind of want to have all my upgrades available to me, and it's kind of a bummer to be sort of asked to replace them or clear out some of them and just choose ones that you think you might not use. But oh well. I'm spoiled because I'm used to, let's bubble some people. I'm used to Dark Souls' way of handling things where you have basically infinite inventory space. For those of you that don't know, Dark Souls actually does have a limited inventory. It's just massive. Like 1,000 items or something dumb like that, which is really hard. It's hard to get that many items because stuff stacks in many cases. But I think if you eventually can hit like 1,000 or something like that, it might have been something even huger than that. And that makes sense. Even games that people most of the time when people think a game has an infinite or inventory space, it actually does have limited inventory, because at some point the game just needs to cap you out somewhere so that it knows how much space to allocate for saving. Are these just both random? Yeah, they're both just random valuables. They could be valuable valuables for all I know. It's hard to say.
This lot. How many are we after?
The Darkspawn will have the run of this place.
Never easy with you, is it?
Huh. Wow, an actual back and forth dialogue with Vasti and another character. That doesn't happen very often. It's location based, which makes more sense, but sometimes I do kind of wish the protagonist would have some back and forth with characters, but I suppose it's hard because your character's supposed to have, the main character's supposed to be a blank slate for you, I suppose, is the point. It's just more stuff. I assume I have stuff in my inventory that's worth less than some of these items, and if I threw them away I could sell those things for more, but at some point it's just not worth the micromanaging for a few extra gold, I think. Full inventory is full inventory, I'll make money off that. A blood-spattered note. The giants are half feral, there's no room for a weak hand. One is enough to move debris during excavation, but keep it under control. We don't need the whole building coming down.
So they were using the giant as a beast of burden.
It kind of looks like the building came down, if I were to judge this. Can I do anything over here? No? I'm looking for mage spots, because it might be possible to energize something and move it around. Either way, looking for pieces of lore. Ancient penal bracelet. An ancient Tevinter bracelet used to brand and number prisoners. So, pretty straightforward prisoner type stuff. It had their identification and kept them bound. The secret tongue of slaves. Despite widespread illiteracy, Tevinter slaves have developed a series of small pictograms that they scrawl on walls or under furniture, hidden from their uncaring owners. Regional variations make deciphering them a unique challenge. In one city, the sign of a clenched fist means a murderous master. In another, the same symbol indicates a harsh slave owner, but not one with a fatal temper. The ruling class's general indifference to the moods and fears of their slaves make this pictorial argot an important method of communication. It is therefore all the more strange so many Tevinter comedies center around farcical misunderstanding of a sloppily written sigil, where witty slaves scramble to subvert blame in time to avoid beheading. Perhaps it comforts Tevinter's well-to-do to believe that their property is only this clever and human in fiction. From a lesson book of Besha of Ravane. That's actually interesting that there be fiction. It's interesting to me that there be fiction in Tevinter that allows there to be any sort of intelligent slaves. Just because, like, we have that all the time in the United States, but that's because we have a history of slavery that is no longer around. A mixture, so it's kind of a mixture of guilt and, like a mixture of guilt and like, oh look, they were so brave for living through that time and stuff like that, and so we allowed ourselves to idealize those characters in retrospect. But the idea of someone of a country being okay with slavery, but then also allowing in their fiction for the slaves to be presented in such a way is surprising. Because then it's like, how do you not question the fact, like, if they're that smart, aside from just like the morality of it being messed up to enslave people that are as intelligent, like they're people. Aside from the morality problems there, I feel like you'd almost be threatened by the idea of like, what if they're that smart? Aren't we in danger entrusting them to be around us all the time? Like they could just, what if they just kill us in our sleep? Or make plans against us? Where am I supposed to take this torch exactly? Hello. There's a lot of really dark justification of slavery in the past. Though, like one of the big ones, of course, is that most groups that were okay with slavery would justify it to themselves by convincing themselves that slaves were subhuman, like whatever race is being enslaved was not the same as normal humans, or somehow inferior or stupid. Here we go, Master Spirit rune. Oh, that's a good rune to have. We're making some good progress with the runes and everything. I think that's all we're gonna find down here, though. And frankly, I don't really feel like talking about slavery right now. So I'll see you guys in a bit. I'm gonna try to track down service. This is like the only step left to do. I need to stop trying to pick up items. I'm gonna see if I can find service finally, since everything's pretty wrapped up in here. And then, after I found service, I'm gonna grab the leftover Astrarium shards off camera because no one needs to see me run around looking for those. And then we'll see what happened. I call them Astrarium shards. They're not from the Astrarium. They're from the ocular. They're from the Oculus thing. We'll find out what's in that Astrarium cave.
You should carve. The Inquisition was here on his butt.
Alright, so I'm here at the service location again, which is a funny thing to say, the service location. It's a pun, I guess. I googled, Dragon Age Inquisition, Trouble with Darkspawn, track down service, and one of the first results I get is, Dragon Age Inquisition is plagued by a particularly nasty glitch relating to one specific quest called Trouble with Darkspawn, as apparently right at the end of the mission, one key enemy disappears, or doesn't even appear in the first place. So apparently, when you go here, it's fairly common for service just service just isn't here. And unfortunately, it sounds like a pretty prevalent glitch, so I guess this is just normal, unfortunately. It's really kind of a bummer, because the game's been out, as shown by the fact that we're close to 100 episodes. This game's been out for months, so this should probably be patched by now. And it should. I understand that maybe it could have been patched, and since I already had the game and I've already been in Western Approach, he was supposed to have already spawned, and so that would be affected. But even then, you can still have patches that check whether or not you've killed service yet, like whether or not the quest is complete, and then force a spawn even afterwards. Like there's ways of patching this for sure. So this is unfortunate. But you know, I'll give them some bit of a pass. It is a massive game, so they may have been patching all sorts of other things that I've never seen glitches of. So that's kind of cool too. But still, very disappointing. We've done an extended quest chain going through this area, explored a whole new region, had a whole bunch of lore pieces where we read about this guy and his seemingly cowardly nature. He was trying to relocate away from the Inquisition. Seems like he succeeded in my game. Seems like he successfully relocated away altogether, because he ain't here. And unfortunately, Trouble with Darkspawn will just be in my quest log forever unless a patch comes out and fixes this problem. Definitely a bummer, but anyway, guys, I think it's time to wrap up this particular session. So thanks for watching, like always, and I'll see you next time. And yes, I believe we will finally take on the next story mission in the next episode. I'm sorry for inferring that that's what was going to happen next and then doing this, but honestly, I thought this was just going to be a really quick detour where we like, oh, the door's open now. Oh, let's do this quick little quest for those two people. Turns out there's a whole secret dungeon and an extra quest chain and a bunch of reading, but I think there's some good content here, so I was happy to come here regardless. I'll see you guys next time. Morgan. Mon Dieu. I, too, am concerned about this new advisor to the Imperial Court. If Celine is truly curious about magic, why not turn to Madame de Fer with her questions? Why seek out this dark-haired apostate from Ferelden? Why bring the woman here? After a great deal of surveillance, I can reassure you somewhat. I do not believe this Morrigan has our Empress ensorcelled. There is no way to be certain, of course. But the witch and Celine argue often. If Morrigan tells Celine something unpleasant, she will avoid the witch for months before curiosity draws her back. Morrigan has an interest in ancient things, magic from a time before the Chantry even existed. And it is this pursuit that intrigues Celine. Morrigan can answer questions that Madame de Fer either could not or would not. Whether any pertain to blood magic or other forbidden things, that I can only suspect. 3 of my spies disappeared after attempting to breach the spells protecting this woman's laboratory, in the depths of the palace. I would raise a fuss, but then my efforts would be revealed. Even though I doubt I am alone, the entire court is consumed with curiosity, and the more Celine keeps her in the sidelines, the more we all wish to know. Our Empress plays with fire. Considering she has yet to find herself a husband to solidify the future of her dynasty, these dealings with the apostate are one more nail in her coffin. Yours in trust, Madame de Carne.